I'm Christy Nelson, and we are back with 5 Talk Street. The Better Business Bureau offers many services to protect North Texans, and today we'd like to focus on how they can help local businesses avoid scams. And joining me now are Jeanette Kopko, Senior Vice President of Communications, and David Beasley, Chief Quality Officer and Director of Trade Practice Investigations for the Better Business Bureau, serving Dallas and Northeast Texas. Thanks to you both for joining us.
Thank you
for having us.
Now, we know that consumers have been targeted by scam artists, but you're here to talk about how businesses are targeted as well.
That's right. A lot of people realize consumers can be the victims of scams, but they may not always realize that businesses can be victimized as well, scams that are aimed directly at them.
And so what should people know about how businesses are being scammed? Because ultimately, we're affected as well.
That's right, because maybe it's a business that you own or that you work for. It really gets into your productivity and has other costs. One that we see a lot is advertising specialty schemes, and the business gets a phone call and they use the name of a local high school, and they're selling something like T-shirts or a schedule with the sports schedule on it, and the business orders these items, but then they don't receive them, or they're poor quality, and then they find out it's not connected with the high school.
Mm-hmm. And then everyone's been duped at that point. What about these bogus payment schemes?
Well, that happens when a business gets an order for something that's expensive, like a big catering order or some appliances or something, and they are offered payment maybe with a credit card that turns out to be stolen, or a check that the scammer says, well, this is over the amount I owe you, but some reason for that. They tell them to deposit the check and then send the balance back to the scammer, the overpayment, but it turns out the check was counterfeit, so the business loses all the money that they send back to the scammer.
And you also mentioned phishing schemes. What are those?
Well, that's a phony email that looks like it's from someone that you might recognize, like a bank or the IRS. It gets your attention, but if you click on the link or download the document, you're going to get malware that could harm your computer or steal money from your accounts.
Okay, and office supply schemes, you talked about that a little bit.
Right. This is, again, a phone call, and they have a reason for offering you some supplies at a discount price, but then it's not what you expected. And David has some details on that.
Yeah, what are some of the other things that we can talk about?
Certainly. With office supply schemes, this is actually a real popular one. It's actually been in the Dallas area for a very long time. There's one particular company that we actually put an alert out just a few days ago, which is Liberty Supply Company. Liberty Supply Company is a company that has been in our area since the 90s, but it's real basic. What Jeanette was basically talking about is the company calls up schools and they offer office supplies for deeply discounted price, and it could be, our owner has cancer, and so our loss is your gain. What ends up happening is they end up paying a heck of a lot more money and receiving a lot more office supplies than they bargained for.
So any other things out there that we should be aware of or just on the lookout for?
Sure. And one real popular one right now, we've received 20 complaints on it just recently, is American Yellow Corporation. That's a company that, in fact, has is what we put in the category of fake billing scheme, where they essentially send out solicitations that look like bills, and it's for a service that you've actually, in fact, never ordered nor rendered. And we've actually received over 1,000 inquiries from businesses on that company just within the last year.
So what are some of the precautions that businesses should take to avoid being victims of these scams?
I'm glad you asked. We're currently asking businesses to talk to their employees, give them, warn their employees about these types of schemes. If you get an inbound telemarketing call that asks for selling advertising or office supplies or similar services, and especially if those services are offered in a manner that is what we'd consider something that you have to do today. And, for instance, when our guy had cancer and now you're going to get our loss is your gain, you must buy today. Also, we say if you get a bill and you don't immediately recognize it, then you go ahead and take that information and make sure that it's, in fact, a service that you've asked for and rendered.
Yeah, and of course, regular, everyday consumers who are not necessarily business owners, we can all benefit from some of the services that that the Better Business Bureau
That's correct.
offers.
You know, a business can check out a vendor, see if it's okay, go to bbb.org and check on the business. Consumers can check on businesses too, whether it's a phone call, something in the mail, online. It's real easy to check at bbb.org.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us and explaining some of these interesting schemes that are out there. Always have to be on the lookout. And stay with us. We'll be right back with more of 5 Talk Street.